It's the state's understanding that mother and state are in agreement that this be a final confirmation of arrears and modification of support order. My child support officer, Ms. Hinton, will testify as to Mr. Raymond's resources, resulting, Your Honor, in an upward modification from the 2013 order. Specifically, this order will reflect that the child has double coverage. However, Mr. Miles is getting credit, for $112 total between health and dental coverage through a private source. And so we'll be asking for the order to reflect that and for this modification to start as early as possible. Given Mr. Miles being served back in July, the state was wanting to take a future pay finding of $101.50 as of the end of July and carry that forward with toward the new amount beginning August 1st of 2023.
All right, thank you very much. I'll ask Ms. Hinton and Ms. Rucker to both raise your right hands. I'll swear them in. All right, do you both solemnly swear or affirm your testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
I do.
All right, you're both officially on the oath, and I'll let the state call you as individual witnesses. You may proceed, Ms. Bongat.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Danielle Hinton. Ma'am, what is your full name?
Danielle Hinton.
How are you employed?
I'm employed by the Office of the Attorney General.
What is your job title?
Child support officer.
What do your typical duties include?
My work involves calculating detailed investigations to locate absent parents, establishing paternity, enforcing court orders for child support and medical support, and or responding to customer inquiries.
In this case, Ms. Hinton, was any of that done regarding Mr. Raymond Miles?
Yes, ma'am.
Please describe what was done and what you found.
For Mr. Miles, we did a income inquiry and found that he is currently employed. We found that his monthly income is currently $13,648 per month. $684 per month.
Thank you.
Anything else, ma'am?
We are also giving him credit for one child that is not in the household per the CP, and he's currently paying medical and dental costs at $112 monthly.
Did Mr. Miles have a non-taxable source of income as well?
He did. Mr. Miles is currently receiving $2,576.39 in VA benefits.
And based on all of those numbers, Ms. Hinton, what was the state calculating for child support in this case?
Okay, child support would be $1,610 per month.
And that's based on the 17.5% get one child in, one child out?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else to report, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, I pass this witness.
All right, real quick, Ms. Hinton, the 13,000, that was that gross or net?
That is his gross income.
Okay, and with the 2,000 in VA benefits, what's the net down to, ma'am?
His net is $12,665.12.
And you only looked at the first 9,200, is that correct?
I think so, yes, sir.
Okay, I'll have the state confirm that. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Anything else in this witness, Ms. Bongat?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Hinton. You're free to go and call your next witness, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Ms. Rucker. Ma'am, what is your full name?
Lindsay Rucker.
And who is the child in this case?
Chandler Miles.
How are you related to Chandler?
I'm his mother.
And who is Chandler's father?
Raymond Miles.
And ma'am, is Mr. Miles the person who was ordered to pay support in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And the prior order had him paying through the state's disbursement unit. Is that your understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, state offers into evidence State's Exhibit 1, the financial activity report.
I don't have a copy of that. You need to share your screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. While I'm pulling that up, ma'am, were you able to hear my colleague, Ms. Hinton's testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know anything different from what she testified to?
The only thing I want to make sure I understand, she stated that there was one in and one out, that another child that wasn't residing in his home. He actually has one child that is residing in his home and one child that has actually aged out, that's 18 or older.
We don't look at that, ma'am. We don't look at the 18-year.
Okay, so he has one, he has one child that's in the home then.
Right.
Yes. But other than that, yes, what she said was correct.
Thank you, ma'am. And apologies for our shorthand. What we mean about one in, one out is one in this case and one outside who's still a minor.
Okay.
And ma'am, are you able to see my screen with this, looks like an Excel spreadsheet type thing?
Yes.
And have you had an opportunity to see this or something like it in the past?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state offers into evidence this payment record, which should have been sent by email today.
All right, ma'am, I'm looking at allowing into evidence State's Exhibit number 1, which shows what monies have been paid for child support in this case. Is there any legal objection to the court having this data, ma'am?
No, ma'am. No, sir.
All right, Stage 1 is going to be admitted. You may proceed, Ms. Von Gatt.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Rucker, this is a 10-page document, so I'm going to go ahead and go to page 10 if you don't mind.
Okay.
And according to this, ma'am, it shows that back in July, the last date that either of you would have been served in this case, Mr. Miles was actually paid ahead in the amount of $101.50. Would you agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you have any problem, ma'am, with that amount carrying forward to Mr. Miles's new obligation?
No, ma'am.
And at this time, ma'am, how does your son have health coverage?
He has health coverage through myself and his dad.
And given the double coverage, ma'am, did you have a preference as to whether this order reflected you being the person ordered to maintain coverage or if Mr. Miles got that responsibility?
That's fine if he gets the responsibility.
And for that reason, ma'am, you were going ahead and giving him that $112 total credit amount towards what his resources were going to be?
Yes, ma'am.
And then as far as the start date for this, Ms. Rucker, you were wanting this court to order the $1,610 new obligation to start as soon as possible?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else, ma'am, you wanted the court to consider at this time?
I have been working with Ms. Hinton since January, and actively between January and up until he actually got served, I had spoke with Mr. Miles and Ms. Hinton has spoke to him on the phone. We had let him know, and he was actively avoiding getting served to draw this out. So I was also asked request, to start this as soon as possible since he knew we were trying to serve him. She emailed him several times with documents.
Ms. Rucker, I can only go with official notice of citation, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's been 10 years. Is there a reason it took 10 years to get this done, ma'am?
We have sent things in and I would get letters back saying that nothing has been found to show for any adjustment. So that's not, it's with this and with other cases as well. So I have other ones. So.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to look at a reason, I can find a legal reason to go ahead and go beyond guideline. But since I'm maxing the gentleman out already, I'm going to go ahead and just go with that, ma'am. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Anything else you want to tell the court this time, Ms. Rucker?
No, sir. That's it.
Anything else, Ms. Mongat?
Your Honor, just one more question for Ms. Rucker. Ma'am, are you aware of what Mr. Miles's day job is since he gets income plus VA?
I believe he is a director at the VA in Oregon, or I think the mail room, I believe. I'm not 100% sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Your Honor, I pass the witness and the state rests.
All right, ma'am, I'm looking at going ahead and grant the modification again. I'm sorry, I wish I could do it a little earlier than that. But looks like they were trying to serve him in the wrong state at first. So, yeah. All right, ma'am, did you know his address?
Yes, we knew his address and we actually emailed him several times this thing to take the service so he wouldn't have to do it. And he said he would sign it, but he would never return it.
Okay. All right, I was good. Again, the reason I asked that because that's a legal reason for me to change things around if he didn't tell you his address. So unfortunately,
Yeah, he told us his address in January.
Okay, all right then. All right, good enough. He was following the court order. All right then, ma'am, I'm gonna go ahead and grant the modification starting the first day of August. I'll reduce the judgment to unpaid child support, which is in future pay. So obviously, some of that will take out the modification. It look like it's going up well over $1,000 a month. So again, so technically, right, he owes you that entire amount for August, September, and the 1st of October. So it is getting a little something back in for you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
And I'll go ahead and grant that, and I'll waive court costs due to military service. And the fact that he's a civil servant also. Is there anything else, Ms. Bongat?
No, Your Honor.
All right, may Ms. Rucker be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, you're free to go. Good luck, and you take care, and be safe and have a happy holiday.
Thank you, you too.
All right, thank you. We're off the record.
Bye-bye.